So I'm thinking how when tragedy afflicts men, exclusively men, when their tragedy is reported in news, they are typically referred to by what they do rather than the fact that they're men and they're people. So it's what they do that matters rather than who they are. So they'll say things like 200 soldiers were killed by a bomb blast, or 50 firefighters met their deaths. They are most often not referred to by their manhood, they're referred to by their function. And I think that this is reality basically. Men are human doings before they are human beings. And this definitely seems to be a fact of life in how we view men. And I'm wondering if this is what the whole of life is about in a sense. And I'm wondering if this is just the truth, the reality. Is it the case that men are primarily what they do rather than who they are? And it is women who are regarded as who they are rather than what they do. So what I'm wondering is, if do I need to accept that this is how it is? That men are only significant regarding what they do in the world rather than who they are. Women, on the other hand, are regarded as who they are rather than what they do, because they don't do things in the way that men do things so assiduously, so religiously almost. Men are functional utilities and do things in the world to make the world work. Women don't have the same onus on them to perform functions because they produce children, and so the mere fact of their womanhood is enough to justify their resistance. Whereas men have to do something worthwhile to be considered important and useful, or else they are just a burden. It is interesting how the very fact of manhood or womanhood defines their importance in the world. So it would seem that women are regarded as being important simply by being women, whereas men can only be considered important if they do something worthwhile, which is why when they die, when tragedy afflicts them, they're described by what they do first. It will be 20 firefighters lost their lives, or 20 soldiers were killed, rather than men who were killed. It is very tragic, but it does seem to be reality.